Welcome everyone and thank you so much for joining in. As we can see guys, it's not just only the crypto market that are down few percent, but if you also look at S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, Nikkei 225, they are down more than 1%. I mean, S&P 500 is down around 1.16%, Nasdaq 100 is down around 1.10%, Nikkei 225 around 1.46%. So what is causing this pressure in the market? Is this the news? Michael Burry's 1.6 billion short bet against S&P 500, Nasdaq 100 creating fear in the market, creating some sell pressure here on S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. Why is this so important for us? Because we know traditional market, crypto market are still very much correlated with one another. So any sort of a movement here will also be reflected in Bitcoin or the overall crypto market. So before I jump into the content, before I start talking about some interesting scenarios which I prepared for you guys, please destroy that like button, and to those individuals watching for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Thank you very much. Now, if we look at this S&P 500 index in a weekly time frame, we can see after breaking the upper trend line from this descending broadening wedge, the price of S&P 500 turned very bullish. But now things might be changing because we can see price has failed to continue this uptrend, and now we are also breaking out from this rising wedge, which is a bearish continuation pattern. So according to this rising wedge, the price of S&P 500 has already lost a support from this lower trend line. Now there might be some weakness here in price action, and price could be also coming back to test the key line of support before choosing a trend duration. Yes, we have to be careful, because if the price of S&P 500 shows further weakness, just like from this example after the massive breakout, we can see after this massive breakout we did had few more retracement before continuing this uptrend, then we have to be careful, because in that case the price of S&P 500 might be also coming back to test the key line of support which we have here to the downside around 4,100 4,150 before choosing a trend duration or before continuing this uptrend. But we have to be careful guys, it's not just only the news from Michael Burry's short bet against S&P 500, but if you also look at the CBOE volatility index, I mean VIX is up more than 10.80% today. What does this mean? The price action of S&P 500 and the VIX often shows inverse price action. When the S&P 500 falls sharply, the VIX rises and vice versa. So in our case, the VIX is up more than 10% today. That means there might be further more sell pressure here on S&P 500. If you simply look at the chart, I mean, when the fear dissipates on VIX volatility index, when the volatility index starts dropping, S&P 500 starts increasing. I mean, impulsive move, corrective move, impulsive move. But each and every time whenever we have seen impulsive move on VIX, I mean fear rises, S&P 500 declines. And today we have seen VIX rising more than 10%, almost 11%. This is definitely some sign of weakness. This is definitely a matter of concern which we have to take seriously, because if the price of S&P 500 shows further weakness, then there is very high probability of price of Bitcoin following the trend. So that is a reason why we have to follow this right angle broadening top pattern type of formation carefully, because if this right angle broadening top pattern plays out here, the price objective is going to be around 28,000 before price chooses a trend duration. And now we know, since the market, the overall market like indices, S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, Nikkei 225 are all showing weakness, there is a very high probability for price of Bitcoin also struggling to find support at 29,000 and going lower, because according to this right angle broadening top pattern, our price objective is around 28,000 before price chooses a trend duration. Not just only that, even the bullish broadening bottom scenario, which we have talked plenty of time in my videos, might be retested. The lower trend line around 28,300, 28,200 might be retested before choosing a trend duration, because even though right this was a bullish continuation pattern, the broadening bottom, price after reaching around this 0.5 showed a retracement around this lower trend line and then started a new impulsiveness. So that is another reason guys, even if the price of Bitcoin in the medium short term shows weakness, gets attracted towards this lower trend line which is around 28,300, 28,200 range, please do not panic, because I have been saying this since a couple of weeks that price above 28,000 is still considered bullish. Only after breaking below that, we know all the bullish scenario which we have talked in my video are going to get invalidated. But until then, any sort of a weakness will be looked as a temporary weakness. Even if we look at another bullish continuation pattern known as descending channel. Yes, this descending channel is indicating us the price could start another continuation here to the upside once it flips the upper trend line resistance to support, right? But in the medium short term, the lower trend line could be retested, and this lower trend line is again around 28,000 range. Yes guys, the price of Bitcoin must remain over 28,000, and if you want to continue this bullishness, 30,000 to 32,000 resistance must be flipped into proper support. And now, even if we look at this in a very simple way, I mean, in the past price action, we have found out the price of Bitcoin has started a new impulsive movement whenever we have found proper support at this falling trend line, and exactly at the same time we have seen a bullish crossover here on MACD. This one here from 2023, March 2023, when the price started breaking at the upside after finding support at this falling trend line, MACD started turning bullish, and after that the price showed a very nice impulsive movement. Similar scenario unfolded here as well. MACD formed a bullish MACD cross, and at the same time price was also finding support from this falling trend line, which led to another impulsive movement of more than 27%. Now, if we look in our case, we know 30,000, 32,000 is definitely going to be considered as a line of resistance which you have to break. But in the medium short term, this MACD is flashing us some weakness. So that will also indicate weakness for the coming days. So in that case, 28,000 is again looked as a line of support. Also the line where we could be getting attracted before price chooses an actual trend duration like this. Now, even if we look at this in a bit different way. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to add this horizontal trend line. This horizontal trend upper line is acting as a line of resistance. Lower trend line is acting as a line of support. So what could be happening here if the price of Bitcoin shows further weakness in the coming days? We could be getting attracted towards this lower trend line around 28,000 before choosing a trend duration, because we know if we lose the support on 28,000, then this will be looked as a bearish continuation pattern. So that is another reason why for us 28,000 here in the medium short term is so important. And even if you look at this Williams alligator indicator, this Williams alligator indicator is still flashing weakness because the blue line is still above the green and the red line. And in the past price action, we have found out whenever that has happened, I mean, blue line appearing above green and red line, price after that has always showed weakness, always showed continuation to the downside. So that is exactly what we want to avoid. But if we look at the indicators here to the downside, unfortunately, RSI has started to appear below 50 level. MACD about to form a bearish MACD cross. TTCCI has also entered the negative territory, which is not a good sign. So this is also a sign the market in the medium short term might show some more weakness. But if the price does the unthinkable, I mean, holds the support from this falling trend line like this, right? You can see this falling trend line in the past price action acted as a line of support, resistance. This exact line is being retested right now. So if we do find support above 29,000, then we are still expecting the market to show another continuation here like this, following a descending broadening wedge. Yes guys, if the price of Bitcoin in the medium short term manages to remain above 29,000, we are still expecting market to show another continuation before choosing a trend duration. Only if we break below 28,000, we know we are in actual trouble. So please guys, do not over leverage yourself, because you can see S&P 500 is clearly lacking bullish momentum. VIX is also rising, and along with that, we have 1.6 billion short bid against S&P 500, Nasdaq 100. So this is definitely going to put some sell pressure in the market, and that sell pressure could be also reflected here on price action of Bitcoin. So this is what I see looking at the price action of Bitcoin in a different time frame using different scenarios. If you enjoyed my work, then please destroy that like button, and those individuals watching the first time to hit the subscribe button and the bell. Thank you very much.